Hi, I'm Miguel Caldera, and today I have a special guest with me, my buddy Manoa. Say hi.
Hi.
We're out here on a dry lake bed that used to be used as a military training site for fighter pilots. It's said that you can find some pretty cool things out here like bullets, bullet casings from the 37 millimeter and the 50 cal guns that were actually used on the aircraft. But we found something even cooler, and you're about to find out. This is Phrynosoma cornutum, commonly known as
the Texas horn lizard.
That's right. And these little guys are covered with these scales that have become protruding spikes. They've got various horns around their head, from which they get their name cornutum, and then they have all these little scales along their back and sides that make them very prickly. And he does not want to sit still for the camera. I don't blame you. You probably think we're gonna eat you, huh? Don't worry, not gonna do that.
This lizard's name, Phrynosoma cornutum, is the Latin derivative of the Greek words meaning toad body with horns, or horny toad.
Tell us a little bit about this guy. Where do they live?
Well, they live in the western United States.
Southwestern United States.
Southwestern.
Yeah. And that includes what?
Arizona, Texas, California, New Mexico.
And these little guys will even get down into northern Mexico, as far north even as Colorado, and there he goes!
No!
While not exactly fast as animals go, these little lizards, with wit and agility, can give even some of the longer legs a run for their money.
Now that we caught him again, tell us a little bit about what this creature eats.
So the horned lizard eats ants, a lot of insects, crickets, grasshoppers, and...
So let's talk about that first one a little bit. The harvester ant, particularly the red harvester ant, is this animal's main food source. It uses the formic acid in the ant as part of its digestion, and if it doesn't get enough ants in its diet, it will die. It does eat other insects, beetles and grasshoppers and other little creepy crawlies that it may come across, but probably 90% of its diet has to be ants, and that gives it a little bit of a specialty in its diet. Sometimes that's good, sometimes it's bad. If we start killing off all the ants, then these little guys aren't going to have something to eat. That could be very bad.
The horned lizard's thick spiky scales act like armor and protect it against the harvester ant's strong mandibles and venomous stings. And while they get most of the liquid they need from the food they eat, these scales, when wet, draw the moisture by capillary action to the lizard's mouth where it can drink.
Now, these little creatures, though they have all these spikes all over their face, and you can even see this row right along its jaw and all over its body, first off, let's talk about why would it do that? Why would a creature have so many spiky scales and protrusions out of its face and its body?
Well, the horned lizard has all these spikes to defend itself from predators.
Ah, from predators. You have predators? So what would this creature want to avoid? What would predate upon the Texas horned lizard?
So the Texas horned lizard's predators are coyotes, eagles, hawks, and most meat eaters that are small.
Yeah, that's right. You have the roadrunner. Badger would love to eat one of these. You know what else? Something that a lot of us have in our homes. Domestic cats and dogs. Sometimes those are the biggest predators that these little guys can come across, because in our home areas we have some nice little brush, we have some nice little hideaway spots, and these guys want to go there, and then our cats or our dogs find them and they end up a meal. So what then does all these spikes do to help keep those predators away?
So the horned lizard has all these spikes to jab into the eyes or the nose, or if it's already trying to bite it, it can jab it into its tongue or its mouth.
Okay, so if, let's say I'm a dog and I'm a coyote and I'm coming to eat it, right? What's he gonna do?
He's gonna puff up and twist his side to you.
And what
like
does that
this.
do? And what does that do?
Makes him look like a big spiky ball.
That's right, it makes him look a lot bigger than he really is, and a whole lot spikier. Do you want to eat something that's big and spiky? No, of course not. Neither does a coyote or a roadrunner. So their first instinct is to simply hide. Show them his back. Turn him that way just enough so that they can see his back. You can see he's got these beautifully patterned spots of dark and light, and that helps him to blend in and look just like this rocky ground here that we're on. If the predator sees past that camouflage, then he's going to puff up, try to look all big and spiky so that it doesn't eat him. But sometimes the predator doesn't quit. Then what?
So if the predator doesn't quit and still tries to eat it, it will suck in air and push it into its head and project blood out of its eyes into the face of the predator.
Wow, he's gonna shoot blood from his eyes?
Yes.
Have you ever heard of that? That's pretty wild. Why would he do that?
He would project blood from his eyes to confuse the predator and give him time to escape.
Ah, so it's another defense mechanism, right? And these little guys have specifically targeted canine predators to use this against. If a coyote or a domestic dog is specifically trying to eat it, those are the ones that they typically use that defense against. And you know what else? This stream of blood that they shoot from their eyes can travel for up to 5 feet away. That's pretty amazing. Now, they don't use it against birds so much because the toxin that's in the blood doesn't affect the birds as it does the canine. Something bitter, something that tastes really bad is in it that really is effective against canine predators. That's pretty neat.
This sprint and freeze technique the horned lizard employs is effective at confusing any would-be predator. It causes a blur, and then blends into the surroundings.
The Texas horned lizard. Until next time, I'm Miguel Caldera.
And I'm Manoa.
Get out and enjoy your hunt for nature.
The horned lizard's spiky scales are capable of delivering quite the prick when trying to catch it, a corrective action to any predator. This reminds me of correction in our lives. While it may be an unpleasant experience, it often provides greater benefit. Consider the words of a very wise king. Open rebuke is better than secret love. Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful. Let's be sure to establish and respect healthy boundaries in all our relationships.